Hey TCS viewers, it's Chris Nichols here from the camera store, and Jordan's a big boy. He can introduce himself.
I'm Jordan Drake, video guy from the camera store.
And we are here to talk about the Veydra Mini Primes. This is by far one of the most exciting things that you found at NAB, right?
Yes, definitely. And I'm thinking a lot of our audience might not be familiar with what cinema lenses are, why they're important, and why these are so special as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, everybody's using SLR lenses, and they've got a lot of weaknesses when it comes to video. So we want to talk about how great these new lenses are. It's a brand new product as well, and we've got it at the camera store, so we want people to know that too.
So here's what we're going to do. You're good at talking, so you can give people the rundown on these. I will do some testing, and we'll come back here, shoot some footage, and talk about our results at the end of the day.
You're good at talking too, but I do need a job, so I'm going to take you up on that offer. Let's do it. Let's check these out.
All right.
All right, now take a look at that honking piece of glass. This is a Sony 25mm Cine Alta PL mount cinema lens. Now then you look at the Veydra Mini Prime, and Mini Prime is really the key word here. They're much smaller, much lighter, just tiny in comparison. Now, before you get your underwear, regardless of gender, into some sort of folded or twisted situation, yes, this does cover Super 35mm film. I understand that that has to have bigger coverage, and these are, and it's very important to understand, only 4 micro four thirds. However, we could very much hope for and very easily see Veydra coming out with other mounts as these grow. But really, the first thing we need to understand is, okay, well, I know that these are big lenses and these are small lenses, but what is the difference between cinema glass and my regular DSLR lenses? Well, let's talk about that next. Now, one of the first things you're going to notice about on Cine glass is this manual focusing ring. Not only is it going to be smooth, but it's also going to have a really long throw. That means it takes a really long time to get from your closest to infinity. The reason for that is it really helps to smooth out long focus pulls. A lot of the time, traditional photography glass is too quick a throw. It's great for quick shooting, but it's no good for video. Also, this is going to have teeth on it, and that's going to hook up to all your focus pullers that you can have on your rigs and your rails. So big difference there. Nothing by wire, everything just solid metal helicoid. The other thing that's going to be different here is T-stops. Now, you might say, well, Chris, all these aperture numbers look exactly the same to me, but what you have to remember about photography glass is that it's based on a measurement. You know, you're looking at an actual opening based on the opening of the aperture, based on the sensor size. Now, f-stops, although they are measured that way accurately, don't always give in the accurate amount of light. f2.8 might actually be closer to f3 or f3.3 in some cases, for example. With T-stops on these lenses, you are guaranteed that f2.2 here is giving you 2.2 light. And if I use it on the Veydra Mini Prime, and then I set the same T-stop on this Cine Alta lens, I'm going to get the exact same amount of light coming through the lenses. All big benefits when you're shooting video and you need consistency. So having that long throw on the manual focus and that smooth metal helicoid means that you can do focus pulls like Jordan just did now. Also keep in mind that Jordan's shooting this entire video on the Veydra Mini Prime, so you guys get a good idea of what they look like. Now, another characteristic of cinema lenses that I want to talk about is something we call breathing in a lens. Take a look at this Panasonic Leica 4/3 25mm 1.4. A hell of a lens, but made for photography. As we manual focus it, you can see the background, the focal length changes quite a bit, and that's what we call breathing. Now in video, that's not desirable. Take a look at the Veydra Mini Prime here now in comparison. As we pull focus, that composition stays exactly the same. It's a really nice thing, and something that cinema glass will give you. Okay, so Jordan's asked for the 16mm Veydra Prime to do the next scene, and there's an issue here. Looking in the bag, all of these Veydras look exactly the same, so I gotta actually pull them out and check the focal length. There's the 16 there. But you know, that can get confusing. You're gonna wanna label your lens caps on top here, but it does actually bring up a very important benefit too. I mean, look at these Veydra lenses. They basically look identical, but that does give us a big advantage here. For example, if I'm using follow focuses on these things, the distance from the follow focus to the lens ring is going to be exactly the same. It's the same diameter. Same for the T-stop, so I don't have to make adjustments as I switch lenses. I wouldn't have to change things like matte box spacers either as I change lenses. And they all use the exact same filter thread, so I don't have to carry stepping rings with multiple filter sizes. So really, these Veydras give you a very similar weight, the exact same size throughout all of their lenses so far. It's really convenient. So far, the entire Veydra lineup is T2.2 at its brightest, so you're gonna get a nice soft rendition of the background. Look behind me there too. 11 aperture blades means really circular bokeh. It's very beautiful there. Nice work on these lenses. Now, $1,000 to $1,500 a pop, the Veydra lenses might seem expensive compared to SLR glass, but honestly, when the cinema world is concerned, it's actually very, very affordable, especially for the quality that we're getting here. Now, you got a lot of great focal lengths coming out. You got the 12 mil already, the 16, the 25, the 35, the 50, and the 85. We're using most of those today. Now, Veydra's also working on an 8.5 mil. That's going to be coming out soon. And there's also anamorphic lenses on the horizon. So the GH4, which is what these lenses are really primarily going to be made for, is really getting a huge kick this year. It's going to be a very exciting time for it. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go shoot a new intro video with the Veydra lenses so you guys can see how these work beyond just a review situation. And if they work out well, you're going to see our new intro video. And if not, we're going to have to do something else.
So here we are to test out the Veydra lenses, first time, and well, no, this isn't actually the first time. We did this once before and recorded without a clean signal going out to the Shogun, so we actually had peaking all over the footage, which is a classic mistake. So we're back out here again, and we've brought out, actually it's a nice upgrade, we've got some new plasma lights from the Hive we're testing out for the first time, but we forgot a tripod, you know, along with all of our blazing technology here. So we've got some chairs, we've got this zip shot thing that's like tent pegs, and we're gonna see what we can pull off with this. I mean, if it looks good, this is an enormous testament to how talented we are, because we're not working with much here. I was gonna do daylight on the spot and then moonlight on the rim. Okay, so we're most of the way through the shoot now. Levi's just setting up the Ronin for our last tracking shot. And I've really loved having the nice, smooth manual focus throws on this. We've been shooting it mostly on long glass right now with Chris pretty close, so we're pulling focus quite a bit. And it looks really smooth. I mean, we'll see how it looks once we actually get it up on a big screen, but for right now, I'm pretty impressed. Other nice thing about this shot is we can check out the flare characteristics. So I'm very curious what they're gonna look like. Just waving them around the camera under this kind of harsh light, it looks really beautiful. So let's see what we get in a moving shot.
Okay, so we're back here in the store now. We've taken out these lenses on multiple shoots.
Originally one, it's now plural shoots.
And we put them up against Cine Altas, so let's talk about that first. What did you think versus a very expensive PL mount lens?
I mean, in terms of handling, I actually really like the Veydras because they are smaller lenses. It's a long throw on them, but I find it pretty easy to pull focus myself, but they're still long enough that you can be really precise.
Like a Cine Alta, you have to have a focus, follow focus,
I like
someone helping you.
I like to have an AC and a follow focus unit with those. Where these I find, I mean, they'll work great in that kind of setting, but they also work really well in a run and gun kind of situation.
Absolutely.
Like we're shooting at sunset, we have next to no time to set up, and the Veydras worked really well for that.
Nice and quick. I just liked how easy they were to move around as well, far more portable. And from an optical side point, I mean, the Cine Altas are beautiful. You can't really touch them, but the Veydras gave us beautiful backgrounds, really, really nice out of focus rendition. I was also impressed by sharpness overall, color and clarity were nice. The only problem I personally had with them is you do get a bit of chromatic aberration.
Yeah, and we took it out of the field and just shot, you know, it's not actually what it's designed for, but we shot this back focus chart and we shot it in the center and the edges with the Cine Altas and the Veydras at the exact same focal lengths. And resolution actually is really comparable between them. I was really shocked by that. Although I did find definitely, you know, the chromatic aberration.
You can see it here,
especially in the edges of the frame.
Sure.
Now, what's nice about that is you stop both those lenses down, you know, to f2.8 even, it starts to go away. At f4, that effect's invisible, and it's tack sharp across the frame.
Like most lenses now in the market, you are paying a lot of money to get even better wide open performance, but not everybody is going to need that or be concerned with that all the time.
Exactly. If you're working with a micro four thirds sensor, I don't think that tiny improvement in terms of chromatic aberration and maybe a bit of edge sharpness on the Cine Altas justifies, I mean, of course, they're much more expensive,
way more
but yeah, especially the weight and things like that. You need a real kit working with those. So the Veydras are actually doing exactly what they promised to do. You're getting a proper cinema lens that's compact, and it really is affordable. And not just for purchase, but for rentals, these things are going to be very reasonable to take out a full set for some, you know, doing a low budget music video or independent film. It's very practical for that.
I think the key thing is bang for the buck all the way, and you're not sacrificing handling. You know, when you're using them, they're easy to use. They're all lined up perfectly. They were very, very enjoyable. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about how these worked in a real-world environment. We used them for our own shoot, and one of our customers, Gabe from 403K Productions, check out his stuff, by the way. He also took them out and he tried some stuff, hey?
Yeah, so we were shooting very high contrast in ours, where he went and did, you know, kind of an underlit, a little moodier shoot. And you can see the look here.
Nice character.
It's very cinematic. You know, it doesn't have a strong bias to one color tone or anything like that.
Yeah, very cool.
Just good-looking images coming off of it.
Now on ours, you know, we enjoyed using them, of course, talked about the handling. One thing that we really noticed, no breathing, eh?
Yeah, and there is a bit in the longer focal lengths, but you don't really see it at the, you know, kind of distances you'd typically pull those focal lengths out for. It's extremely well controlled, and we brought out a Cine Alta as well, which are great for handling that. And honestly, there wasn't much of a difference.
I'd say in practical terms, close enough.
Yeah,
right?
the longer focal lengths maybe a hair better in the Cine Altas, but and that's not because the Cine Altas are bad. It's because the Veydras are actually so good at handling that.
Again, it's such good value for the money. I mean, think about Rokinon lenses. They do make cinema lenses, but they're basically just rebranded still lenses.
Yeah, I mean, they gear them, they T-stop them.
But they still breathe like crazy. I mean, this is really the first opportunity to get affordable lenses that compete very easily with high-end cinema glass.
Exactly, and that's something I've always felt was missing. Is we're seeing the price of the cameras come down, the lenses, the microphones. You know, filmmaking was becoming more accessible for you know, people without huge budgets, with the exception of cinema glass.
Yeah.
That was one thing that you could never really get your hands on.
It's like you ask your mommy and daddy for money, or you already have PL glasses and, you know, giant mortgage to pay them off. Like, now you can get good stuff for small camera work. I just hope that Veydra starts making NEX lenses soon. You know, Super 35.
That's the big thing they're missing right now. Is I'd really like to see a set of Super 35s from them with these same kind of characteristics. They might be a little bit bigger.
Some anamorphic stuff is going to be coming, hopefully.
I can't wait for the anamorphic. We will be testing those.
It is exciting times, and you know, who knows, but you got to think if Veydra can do it, other companies can do it. So I think we're going to see an explosion here on the market. It's all good news for filmmakers on a budget.
Yeah, it's a really exciting time. Thanks for checking this out, guys. A little more filmmaker-centric episode, which is great for me. If you liked what you saw, you know, send us a comment down there.
Do the
Tell us what we missed.
tweets and the subscriptions
and the Instagram looky looks.
And that's our 3. Do them.
Yeah, do them all, and we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Okay, bring it in. This is what I deal with day to day.